This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Kunana. Now, on this show, we talk about everything under the sun. And tonight is about the future of print media. You know, surveys show that an increasing number of people are switching from their hard copies of newspapers and magazines to the online versions, with some people going so far as saying that this is the sign of the demise or coming demise of print media as a vehicle for news and for information. Now, joining us to talk about this interesting topic are folks from a magazine, an online platform called PSST or pst.com, who are going to, or this very nice vehicle for spreading news about Philippine culture and news and all that. And joining us tonight is, on my right, we have a guest here before on Philippines Uncut, Kathy Keningo, who is editor-in-chief of pst.com, .ph.
Yes.
And joining her is Alj Asuncion, musician and entertainment editor of this fascinating platform. Kathy?
Yes, hi.
Of course,
good
Kenny
evening.
and Alj. Welcome to Philippines Uncut. Pleasure to have you guys here.
Thank you for having us.
Now, let's start off with some introductions. Ladies first.
Okay, so Ps.ph, it's an online magazine. I'm the editor-in-chief and I have a staff of 20 writers. And we are actually a very unique group of people because not everyone on the team is a writer, but everyone is passionate about writing and sharing information to the Filipino community.
But who is Kathy Kenning? Oh, you're very active in the virtual world and the real world. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I'm an editor-in-chief. I'm also social media manager. I handle events and PR for a lot of brands and individuals. So my goal is to really make people more socially aware about a certain brand that I feel people should read about. I'm also a mom to an 11-year-old boy. I'm also an advocate of Yaoyan Alasan, which is Filipino MMA. So as you can see, I really support our local industry.
A very broad range of activities. Yaoyan, mom, activities, events, blah, blah. Wow. What got you into this game, Kenny? To the PR, media, advocacy game?
Actually, it was all very organic. It was really just my passion. I did things for fun and people started noticing, and then they started asking if I can handle their products or do their business. And initially, I actually declined because I said, I just, really do this for fun. I don't know if I'm qualified, but I jumped into this world 3 years ago and it's been a very, very fun ride. Lots of highs and lows, but it's always worth it because I feel like in my own small way, I help out people.
Absolutely. When I first met you, you were a blogger. You had a blog, and now imagine that you're editor-in-chief of this. It's become so much bigger than a blog. I mean, online magazine. Bravo, Kenny. Bravo.
Thank you.
Okay, Alj, your turn. It says here you're a musician and entertainment editor. Now, tell me how those two worlds come together with you.
Actually, I'm very thankful for PSSC.ph because it became my creative outlet during the day. Because as a musician, most gigs happen at night. So I actually have a band. I have two bands. I have an acoustic band with my friends and then a rock band with my brothers.
Wow.
So we normally do gigs for events and for coffee shops nearby. And then I decided that writing has been my passion for the longest time. Like back in high school, I remember I've been writing stories about any topic basically. And I also did a lot of contribution to our local what's this? Local magazine inside the school.
Yeah.
So that's where it all started. And then I realized, hey, what if I talk about something and I write about something that I know something about really? Because I'm actually a medical student by I used to be a medical student. I wouldn't say by profession because I never really did that. No, but so in writing, I put something like what are the normal things that I learned while being a musician, and it's something it's my creative outlet to share also to the world, like how how it can change.
So in your downtime from being a musician, you do other creative work.
Yes.
In this case, writing for an online magazine.
Yes.
Sounds like you have a very eclectic bunch of people, huh?
Very actually.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, and
Musician,
he
med
creates the
student,
best
rock
playlist.
artist. Look at
He
that.
creates the best playlist for movies and music, and it's one of our most viral posts on the site because people can relate. I think that's a good part because he really loves music and movies and the industry. So when he writes, people feel the
Absolutely.
sincerity.
I mean, for you to write about something, you've got to be a certain topic. You know?
Yeah.
It could be
Yes.
birds, it can be anything,
Yes.
music. You've got to be passionate about it, right?
That's true. It's the same with my team. That's why on my team, like what I said, it's not all writers. But for health, I have a doctor. My food editor is a chef. I have a full-time housewife who, when I recruited her, they said that she didn't know if she could write. And turns out she's one of the best writers we have. And she
Wow.
writes about parenting topics,
Wow.
about issues like breastfeeding
Yeah.
and how to actually handle things because she goes through it and she's overcome the obstacles and she shares it with everyone. And it's also one of our most read articles whenever she writes about parenting topics and how to raise a baby in this world where people expect you to be a mom and yet you're supposed to be working and helping out. But she chose
Very
to,
good.
be non-conventional. She stays in the house and supports her husband by being the one running the household.
Now, I have a question about that, but before we jump there, I want to ask Alj, what instrument do you play? You said you have two bands.
Yes.
Are you a vocalist?
I
Are you
actually sing, yeah, for the
Wow.
band. So yeah,
So
and I
like the
also
lead
write
vocal?
songs. Yes. We also have a female vocalist, so
Yeah.
it's normally like one after the other, or like we have songs that we sing together. So-
Galing.
I'm
Bravo,
the most
bravo.
demanding fan. I say, have you heard this?
Yes.
Can you please practice this and sing this?
What's the name of your band? I mean, what are the names of your band? Names of
Okay,
your band.
my acoustic band is called Pajama because it actually it's spelled as PJMA because the band members are PJ, M for Mel, and A for Alj.
You guys like this
so-
whole acronym thing? Huh?
Yes.
Pajama, PSST.
But it was yeah, I guess no, I think that's a trend now. I don't know.
Very catchy.
And then the other one, Sour Tape. Well, originally it was Sour Tape, but now it's called A Plus because it's a band with my brothers, and we're all Als. Our names start with letter A, so we just decided to use that A Plus. So A Plus, whoever joins us.
Well, I'd love to have you on the show on another episode to talk about your band naman. You
Oh,
guys
yes.
perform here, huh?
Yeah, that
have you
would be
had some
awesome.
musicians?
That would be awesome.
Okay, let's go back to pst.ph or PSST. Now, interesting, people are hearing this and they say, why is there a magazine called Pst? I mean, as a Filipino, I have several guests already, but I
Yeah.
want to come from you.
So, pst.ph, it started actually in Hong Kong. So one of the owners lived in Hong Kong for a time, and she doesn't look, she doesn't look Pinoy, so people never mistook her for a Filipina. And one time, she was walking on the street with her coffee, and then she heard psst, and automatically she turned. And she didn't even know why she turned. She said, I just heard that, and I turned. And then the guy said to her, I knew it. I knew you were Filipino. Because, when we hear psst, it's
Now,
automatic.
that's such a Pinoy
People
thing.
like
That is
would,
such a Pinoy
even
thing.
when you don't want to turn around, it's like
Instinctive.
It's instinct.
Instinctive, yeah.
Like, you're turning and you're like, no, why did I turn? But that's how it came about. So it stuck to her. And when they tried to come up with the name for the magazine, they decided what could be more Filipino than psst.
And then very catchy, I have to say.
Very.
And very professional because PSST, it's very nice. But that whole psst thing is great for marketing. I think.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's
Bravo.
so easy to remember. Like you can't forget it. You're like, the name, psst, that's it. It's
Yeah.
a constant recall.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned earlier that in your group, not everyone is a writer. So like you guys started out doing other things.
Yes.
But it's interesting how people who are not, you don't really have to be a trained writer or have trained as a writer to be a writer. Like I have some friends who started a magazine called C exclamation point, a car magazine, no? And they always said that, hey, you know, people didn't think that we were serious because none of us was a writer.
Yeah.
None of them went to journalism or mass comm, and yet, you know, they made this thing happen, very successful. And you guys, are you approaching it with the same philosophy? Like, you know, I mean, obviously you are. No?
I am. I took up journalism in college, but I think more than half of my team are not writers. I have nurses, interior decorators, I have architecture students, I have
Fashion
finance
designers.
advisor, fashion designers. But the one thing they all have in common is they want to share something to the world.
Yeah.
And I think I'm able to help them with that. I'm able to guide them so that they can produce an article that's worth reading, worth sharing. And we have had some of the most fantastic articles. We actually also discuss horticulture, ancestral homes. It's a very, very broad range. And I myself am surprised that, oh, people are actually interested in this.
Yeah.
Pinoys are clamoring for more information on this. And that's what we hope to, you know, give out. We want to write the stories that people actually want to read about.
Now, how do you get the pulse of what people want to read about? Because, I mean, how do you get that feel? How do you know what people want to read about?
You know, that's a good
Go ahead,
question.
shoot.
Because, like, for me,
Yeah.
for music, I honestly believe that music is an integral part of each person's life. So it's really about finding your own pulse, and then as soon as you find that, you also ask other people, like, what do you want to read, or what do you listen to, like stuff like that, and then from there you just know how to create it, and then like submit it for publishing, and then once it's published, you try to promote it, and then you'd be surprised, like with how much information that's readily available to everyone. It still gains a lot of good exposure.
Like, look at
So
this guy.
it's-
I mean, you can tell he's talking about what he does, and you can tell it's passionate, no?
Exactly.
And you can tell, right?
Exactly.
And you know, I think nothing moves people more than
Then-
seeing someone who's passionate. Like
Exactly.
he's talking about this stuff, and I want to see what you guys, what you write about.
Exactly. I think that's what makes us different. We have people who are passionate about the things that they write about. The other day, we wrote about the psych majors because I think it was the result of the board exam. So
Psych majors, like
yeah, so it was
ho-hum, right?
hug a psych major
Hug a psych
day.
major.
But you know, just saying that topic to me now, my first reaction was psych majors.
Yeah,
And,
but
yawn.
so exactly. I was like, initially, when the writer said, I wrote a piece about psych majors, I'm like, because?
There you go.
I said, because? He said, oh, because the results are coming out, and you know, I think we should write about them. So it was Hug a Psych Major Day. And in a day, we've had 1,600 shares. People were
Wow.
actually tagging people that they know who were psych majors, and it just went completely viral. So I think what's good about us is we don't necessarily need to have a feel of what people want. It's more instinctive because
Yeah.
the team is composed of, I would say, what the Filipino is or who the Filipino is, so they know what people want to read about. Like, for example,
It's true.
the inauguration of our president
Yep.
right now,
Yep.
what we wrote about was not about the inauguration. We wrote about this plant in Davao that was named the Duterte plant, and we were the first one to release it. It was like 2 weeks later that other stations got it, whined about it, and it's our most read article with over 300,000.
Would you say that you guys, that's your niche, that you guys look for quirky stuff, quirky features that probably fall underneath the radar? People, I mean, the mainstream folks don't really pay attention. Would you say that's
I
kind
guess,
of like your niche as
I guess
well?
I would agree with that, but I wouldn't say we look for it, because I mean, if you're passionate about it, you know what are the quirky stuff that I mean that you should write about there. So I guess yes.
It happens because I think I push them to, you know, when they pitch a topic, I always ask why. Why should I approve? Why should the Filipino read about that? Why should we put it out there? So they have to give me a reason, and it has to be a valid reason, not just, I just want to write about it. You have to tell me why. And again, they represent who the Filipino is. So they know, oh, this is something. And we try to stay away from the mainstream because there are already huge
True.
sites
True.
for that.
Yeah.
So for us to be different, we need to be unique. So for example, last Saturday, the state of lawlessness, everyone was just saying, oh, it's been declared, and everyone was panicking. But we're like, what's the state of lawlessness? What does it mean? So on our end, we featured it, but we explained it.
That's a good thing because I was around for that, and we were all tuned into that issue, and it's amazing how much paranoia and fear was going around.
Exactly.
But very few, or practically no one, was really taking time out to explain to people
That's
what
what
the hell
we
is the
did.
state of lawlessness.
Yeah,
No?
and how does it affect
How
me
does it affect
directly
me?
as
Yeah,
a
as a
citizen?
citizen, a private
When,
citizen.
when we do news pieces, that's always my rule. How does this affect the regular Pinoy?
Very nice.
Does this have an effect on them? Even with the whole
The Brexit, yeah.
I said, why are we writing about it?
Did you write about
Does
Brexit?
Yes, we
Yes.
did. And it was to explain also to the people here and to the relatives who may be working there,
That's a nice
what are
angle.
the effects.
That's
so
a nice
that's what
angle.
I always tell them.
Bravo.
We can't just write Brexit.
Yeah.
And then we need to explain to them, why does it matter to you?
There's only one other group I can think of that comes close to doing it like you, being in the same kind of angle, kind of trying to do a bit of explaining to the point that they are actually accused of editorializing the news. Is Rappler. Kinda, a little bit there, but they're not really. I don't think they cover as many topics as you guys do.
No,
It's the
because I
first
think
topic.
they're more news.
They're more news.
Yeah, they're more
actually.
news.
We're more lifestyle, travel, food, and everything that is of interest to the Pinoy. And then our news would be very, I would say 5%. But whenever we touch on the news, it's always just to explain to the people. We want to explain.
How about in terms of you handling entertainment, no?
Yes.
What kind of topics do you cover to make it interesting to people?
Actually, I try to be as personal when I write about something. So it's really more of like creating a playlist for every type of mood that you have. So that, because if I'm not mistaken, that's more realistic to people. Like instead of writing about this celebrity doing
Yeah.
a concert here, I think what's better is what are the other songs that you need to hear before going to the concert. So it's really more of putting yourself in the shoes of your reader. Like, what do I want to read? Because I'm sure there are billions of articles about the concert already, but I mean, how can it be different? Why should I read it? So what I try to do also is I try to marry it with other platforms like music apps. So
So it's like a
aside from
combined
reading,
experience.
Yes, yes.
It's not just about reading, but you also get this whole multimedia
Yes,
thing
yes.
And I
going.
think, how people, when they read a good book or see a good movie or listen to a good song, they always ask, are there other songs like this? That's where he comes in. He
Yeah.
tells you, you
It's
like
like
this? Here's more.
It's like a peek into your soul almost, no?
Yes,
I mean, it's a part of you you're sharing.
I bear, yeah, I
really?
bear it all
Right?
in my writing.
Actually, my other
Bravo.
writers are also like that. One of our very controversial posts was from a guy on our team who only courted one girl, was shot down, never again. And he wrote about that experience of the feeling and now the fear of him falling in love, like he would never do it again. And when he wrote about it, it was very personal. I was very touched that he shared it with us and that he was willing to share it to the world. And it was no surprise that it went viral, that people could relate to what he was saying, that there were a lot of guys that said, this was exactly how I felt.
I have a question about that. We'll take off from that when we resume. We have pause our break, unfortunately. I mean, you guys are so much fun to talk to. Time goes by just like that. Guys, more of the future of print media and the cool guys from pst.ph when Philippines Uncut returns.
It's good.